hope you're all doing great. Welcome to my channel. My name is Shelly, and today I'll be sharing 4 dinner recipes, 1 freezer meal, and 1 dessert. If you haven't seen my last 2 shopping hauls, you can check them out. I'll link them at the end of this video and in the description box for you guys. If you have seen them, you may recognize some of the ingredients that I used. I crafted these recipes using some of the items that I bought using Ibotta, Fetch Rewards, and Target coupons. If these recipes look good to you, stick around and please watch. But please click that like button and subscribe to my channel. Bon appetit! I like to spatchcock my chicken whenever I'm roasting it, whether I roast it on the grill or in the oven. It helps cook the chicken quicker and evenly around so you get a good color around the entire chicken. Plus it releases less fat, and you'll see why that matters in a little bit. So all I'm doing is removing the backbone and reserving it to make a broth. Then I crack the breastbone to sort of flatten it. Today, I'm going to be marinating it with Weber seasoning packets. I'm using 1 citrus herb packet and 1 garlic herb packet. I don't really follow the directions on the package. Instead, I'll be using a whole orange and I just squeeze it in there. Don't mind the knife, you guys. Use something else. That's not safe. Then I drizzle it with olive oil, about a 1/4 cup, and then I put in about a splash of pineapple juice. That's optional. The olive oil helps give it a good color, and it also tenderizes the chicken alongside the juices. And I just make sure to rub all of the marinade around both chickens. For the cake batter, I mix 1 stick of margarine in my KitchenAid with about a 1/2 cup of brown sugar and mix for a few minutes until it's really fluffy. Then I'm going to add 5 eggs and then just mix it until it's combined. You want to scrape the bottom of the bowl to get everything combined. I add a 1/2 cup of flour to my spice cake mix. And then I also use a 1/2 cup of buttermilk, and I alternate between the cake mix and the buttermilk until it's fully incorporated. Then I add 2 splashes of vanilla and 2 splashes of regular whole milk. You want to mix your batter until it's completely combined, but you don't want to over mix it. Then I just add my apples and pecan mixture and mix until it's combined. my cakes in the oven and I let my nose tell me when the cake is done. And then if I start smelling cake and it's starting to smell like really good, I'll go check on it and I'll check it to see if it is done. And if it's not, then I put it back in for a few more minutes. But I never really rely on a timer because timers don't work universally. Not every cake is going to be done in a specific time. So I just learned how to do it that way. I could tell it's done because when you press on it, it doesn't feel soft on the inside. But I'm going to check it just to show you guys that it came out clean. It's done. So I'm going to let it cool. It smells so good. It smells like apples and spice. Remember when I said that I like to spatchcock my chicken because I don't want so much fat coming off the chicken? Well, this is why. I like to put my potatoes on the bottom of my baking pan and then I put a baking rack on top of that and then I bake my chicken over the potatoes. It gives the potatoes a sticky texture and they absorb so much flavor from the chicken. They come out so good. It's the best. But before I do that, I like to sear my chicken in a cast iron skillet and brown it on the top and on the bottom just to speed up the cooking time a little bit and to make sure that you give your chicken a really good color. Oh my gosh. This cake smells good. I don't know, you want to try it? Is that good? Delicious, huh? Don't tell anybody that we ate some of our dessert before dinner, okay? It's not in the rule books. So I think that this chicken is done. This chicken's much smaller. It's at 165. This one is at 150. So I gotta take this one out. These chickens took about 2.5 hours to bake. One of them was done before the other one, but they need to reach an internal temperature of 165 degrees, or when you poke it with a knife or fork, the juices run clear. When they're done, you'll want to make sure to let them rest for about 5 to 10 minutes. That way the juices stay inside the chicken and you have a flavorful and moist chicken. Also, the potatoes, you can continue to bake them afterwards to get a more crispier crust if you'd like, or you can eat them soft this way, or you could put them in a cast iron skillet and you can also toss them up and brown them that way as well. But either way, they're equally delicious. I'm really bummed out that my camera didn't record this part. I thought I did, but basically all I did was put all of those ingredients into a bowl and I made meatballs with them and then put them into the pot. My mom taught me that if a little bubble comes to the surface of an egg yolk, that means that it's time to flip, and she would poke it with a fork before she did that. So I do that myself. My eggs did run out, but I like it like that because I wanted an over hard egg for these sandwiches. I'm using deluxe craft singles in these sandwiches because that's how I like to make mine. But my kids oddly don't like craft singles or the deluxe cheese. They prefer cheddar cheese. I'm just curious, does my kids just have like really adult grown-up taste? Or are your kids like that as well? Let me know down in the comments below and let me know if your kids like cheddar or if they like the craft singles. I'd really like to know. It would be interesting to hear everyone's answers. I watch Amanda on This Crazy Life on YouTube, and she taught me to use essential oils in my drain to keep it smelling good. I had just found out that you can use rice water in your hair and on your skin, so I'm gonna try that this week and see how that goes. So all I did was I put a cup of rice inside of a strainer and I rinsed it, and then I put it in a bowl. You want to rinse it to get rid of any dirt or debris from the rice first, and then you want to soak it for up to 12 to 24 hours, and then you put it in a bottle and you put it in the refrigerator and you leave it in there for up to 5 days, and you could use it after you condition your hair. You can put the rice water in your hair and let it sit for like 2 to 5 minutes and then rinse it out. And then for your face, you put it on a cotton ball and you use it as a toner, and you can use it twice daily on your face. So we'll see how that works out for me, and I'll let you guys know. I also have some leftover albondiga soup from a couple of days ago, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in some jars and save it for myself because I'm pretty much the only one that's going to eat the leftovers, but it's just as good reheated. Thank you. You're welcome. If you've seen my pozole recipe, you'll know what I'm doing here. I'm basically just boiling my New Mexico chilies, and I'm letting them get soft so that they're easy to blend. I don't need an entire bag of chilies for this recipe, but I always make extra because I like to keep some enchilada sauce left over. Even if I'm not going to use it right away, I'll put it in the freezer, and when it thaws out, it's perfect every time. But I want to make some huevos rancheros coming up this weekend, so that'll probably be in one of my next videos, so stay tuned for that. Since I have OCD, I used to be really anal about getting every single seed off the chili, but I had to realize that you're going to strain it anyway and you're going to take out the pulp from the chili, so there's no need for you to be super strict about the seeds. But I still do like to rinse them off because it does help not having so many seeds inside of the sauce while you're trying to strain it. I don't normally use chipotles inside of my enchilada sauce, but I wanted to give the sauce for this dish a little bit of a different flavor. So I did put some in this time, and since I'm going to have leftover sauce, it is going to give my huevos rancheros a little bit of a different flavor. So it's up to you if you want to use the chipotles in this recipe or not. Cook my beans the night before to give myself a little bit of a head start for dinner tonight, and I do that quite often. So all I had to do was take the beans out of the refrigerator and then bring them up to boil before I smash them. And you want to do that, otherwise the beans won't smash properly. And I also keep all of the liquid inside of the pot while I'm boiling them and smashing them, because you want this dish to be more on a saucy side and not so much on a refried bean side, because essentially your beans are acting as an enchilada sauce. So when you dip your tortillas in them, you don't want the beans to be too thick or too heavy. Right before you're about to serve, you're going to fry up your tortillas, but you don't want to fry them so much that they become a tostada. You want them just to be pliable and soft, but the oil kind of gives it like a crust around the ring of the tortillas so that when you're dipping into the beans, it doesn't fall apart on you. And the way that I was taught to serve enfrijoladas wasn't actually to roll them up like enchiladas. They're actually supposed to be folded up in little triangles, like little pillows. I'm not sure why, but this is how they showed me. Maybe it's because they had a big family and they had a lot of people to serve, and it was just much faster and easier to get it all out. This recipe is so easy, I don't even need to write out the recipe for you guys. Everything that you see right there on the counter is all you're going to need. This is actually a family recipe, and we all make it the same or similar, but we also put our own little twist to it. So sometimes I like to put chopped carrots and celery in mine, and sometimes I don't. Today I won't be. because my kids don't really care for that and I want them to enjoy the soup. My mom will actually cook hers a lot longer than I do, so her beans become more of like a refried bean texture and not so brothy. I like to keep my beans a little on the brothy side, so I like to slightly undercook my beans to keep the broth in the pot. Otherwise, if you let it go any longer, your beans are going to start to break down and they're going to start getting really soft and you're going to have hardly any broth in your soup. Our family also uses ham hocks instead of ham shanks. I like it either way, but our store doesn't carry ham hocks, so I use the ham shank and it gives it the same amount of flavor, and if anything, you have to put less ham in it because a lot of the ham falls off the ham shank in the soup, so you get a better bang for your buck. So that's what I have for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed what I served up. Don't forget to use your Ibotta, and this week at Walmart you get a free Thanksgiving dinner, all the sides, and if you refer a friend, you get a free $15 turkey. I have a few more recipes for you coming up next week in part 2 of my weekly meal ideas. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys. Christian, is that good? Mm-hmm. You get to eat the leftovers, the last of it. Mm-hmm. And it's still good leftover, huh? Uh-huh. Good stuff?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Okay.